Judges chapter 16. Then went Samson to Gaza, and saw there an harlot, and went in unto her. And it was told the Gazites, Samson is come hither. And they went about, and laid wait for him all night in the gate of the city, and were quiet all night, saying, Abide till the morning early, and we shall kill him. Then Samson slept till midnight, and arose at midnight, and took the doors of the gates of the city, and the 2 posts, and lifted them away with the bars, and put them upon his shoulders, and carried them up to the top of the mountain that is before Hebron. And after this he loved a woman by the river of Sorek, whose name was Delilah. Unto whom came the princes of the Philistines, and said unto her, Entice him, and see wherein his great strength lieth, and by what means we may overcome him, that we may bind him and punish him. And every one of us shall give thee 1,100 shekels of silver. And Delilah said to Samson, Tell me, I pray thee, wherein thy great strength lieth, and wherewith thou mightest be bound to do thee hurt. Samson then answered unto her, If they bind me with 7 green cords that were never dried, then shall I be weak and be as any other man. And the princes of the Philistines brought her 7 green cords that were not dry, and she bound him therewith. And she had men lying in wait with her in the chamber. Then she said unto him, The Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he brake the cords as a thread of a tow is broken when it feeleth fire. So his strength was not known. After Delilah said unto Samson, See, thou mockest me, and told me lies. I pray thee now, tell me wherewith thou mayest be bound. Then he answered unto her, If they bind me with new ropes that have never been occupied, then shall I be weak, and be as another man. Delilah therefore took new ropes, and bound him therewith, and said unto him, The Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And then lay wait in the chamber. And he brake them from his arms as a thread. Afterward Delilah said to Samson, Hitherto thou hast beguiled me, and told me lies. Tell me how thou mightst be bound. And he said unto her, If thou platest 7 locks of mine head with the threads of the woof. And she fastened it with a pin, and said unto him, The Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he awoke out of his sleep, and went away with the pin of the web and the woof. Again she said unto him, How canst thou say, I love thee, when thine heart is not with me? Thou hast mocked me these 3 times, and hast not told me wherein thy great strength lieth. And because she was importunate upon him with her words continually, and vexed him, his soul was pained unto death. Therefore he told her all his heart, and said unto her, There never came razor upon mine head, for I am a Nazarite unto God from my mother's womb. Therefore if I be shaven, my strength will go from me, and I shall be weak, and be like all other men. And when Delilah saw that he had told her all his heart, she sent and called for the princes of the Philistines, saying, Come up at once again, for he hath showed me all his heart. And the princes of the Philistines came up unto her, and brought the money in their hands. And she made him sleep upon her knees, and she called a man, and made him to shave off the 7 locks of his head. And she began to vex him, and his strength was gone from him. Then she said, The Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he awoke out of his sleep, and thought, I will go out now as at other times, and shake myself. But he knew not that the Lord was departed from him. Therefore the Philistines took him, and put out his eyes, and brought him down to Gaza, and bound him with fetters, and he did grind in the prison house. And the hair of his head began to grow again, after that it was shaven. Then the princes of the Philistines gathered them together for to offer a great sacrifice unto Dagon their god, and to rejoice, for they said, Our God hath delivered Samson, our enemy, into our hands. Also when the people saw him, they praised their God, for they said, Our God hath delivered into our hands our enemy, and destroyer of our country, which hath slain many of us. And when their hearts were merry, they said, Call Samson, that he may make us pastime. So they called Samson out of the prison house, and he was a laughing stock unto them, and they set him between the pillars. Then Samson said unto the servant that led him by the hand, Lead me, that I may touch the pillars that the house standeth upon, and that I may lean to them. Then Samson said unto the servant that led him by the hand, Lead me, that I may touch the pillars that the house standeth upon, that I may lean to them. Now the house was full of men and women, and there were all the princes of the Philistines. Also upon the roof were about 3,000 men and women, that beheld while Samson played. Then Samson called unto the Lord, and said, O Lord God, I pray thee, think upon me, O God, I beseech thee. Strengthen me at this time only, that I may be at once avenged of the Philistines for my 2 eyes. And Samson laid hold on the 2 pillars, whereupon the house stood, and on which it was borne up, on the one with his right hand, and on the other with his left. And Samson said, Let me lose my life with the Philistines. And he bowed him with all his might, and the house fell upon the princes, and upon all the people that were therein. So the dead which he slew at his death were more than they which he had slain in his life. Then his brethren and all the house of his father came down and took him, and brought him up and buried him between Zorah and Eshtaol, in the sepulchre of Manoah his father. Now he had judged Israel 20 years. Judges chapter 17. There was a man of Mount Ephraim, whose name was Micah, and he said unto his mother, The 1,100 shekels of silver that were taken from thee, for the which thou cursest and spakest it, even in mine hearing, behold, the silver is with me, I took it. Then his mother said, Blessed be my son of the Lord. And when he had restored the 1,100 shekels of silver to his mother said, I had dedicated the silver to the Lord of mine hand for my son, to make a graven and molten image. Now therefore I will give it to thee again. And when he had restored the money unto his mother took 200 shekels of silver, and gave them to the founder, which made thereof a graven and molten image. And it was in the house of Micah. And this man Micah had a house of gods, and made an ephod and teraphim, and consecrated one of his sons, who was his priest. In those days there was no king in Israel, but every man did that which was good in his own eyes. There was also a young man out of Bethlehem, Judah, of the family of Judah, who was a Levite, and sojourned there. And the man departed out of the city, even out of Bethlehem, Judah, to dwell where he could find a place. And as he journeyed, he came to Mount Ephraim, to the house of Micah. And Micah said unto him, Whence comest thou? And the Levite answered him, I come from Bethlehem, Judah, and go to dwell where I may find a place. Then Micah said unto him, Dwell with me, and be unto me a father and a priest, and I will give thee 10 shekels of silver by year, and a suit of apparel, and thy meat and drink. So the Levite went in. And the Levite was content to dwell with the man, and the young man was unto him as one of his own sons. And Micah consecrated the Levite, and the young man was his priest, and was in the house of Micah. Then said Micah, Now I know that the Lord will be good unto me, seeing I have a Levite to be my priest. Judges chapter 18. In those days there was no king in Israel, and at the same time the tribe of Dan sought them an inheritance to dwell in. For unto that time all their inheritance had not fallen unto them among the tribes of Israel. Therefore the children of Dan set of their family 5 men out of their coasts, even men of expert in war, out of Zorah and Eshtaol, to view the land and search it out, and said unto them, Go and search out the land. Then they came to Mount Ephraim, to the house of Micah, and lodged there. When they were in the house of Micah, they knew the voice of the young man, the Levite, and being turned in thither, they said unto him, Who brought thee hither? Or what makest thou in this place? What hast thou to do here? And he answered them, Thus and thus dealeth Micah with me, and hath hired me, and I am his priest. Again they said unto him, Ask counsel now of God, that we may know whether the way we should go shall be prosperous. And the priest said unto him, Go in peace, for the Lord guideth your way which ye go. Then the 5 men departed, and came to Laish, and saw the people that were therein, which dwelt careless, after the manner of the Sidonians, quiet and sure, because no man made any trouble in the land, or usurped any dominion. Also they were far from the Sidonians, and had no business with other men. So they came again unto their brethren to Zorah and Eshtaol, and their brethren said unto them, What have ye done? And they answered, Arise, that we may go up against them, for we have seen the land, and surely it is very good. And do ye sit still? Be not slothful to go and enter to possess the land. If ye will go, ye shall come unto a careless people, and the country is large. For God hath given it into your hand. It is a place which doth lack nothing that is in the world. And there departed thence of the family of the Danites from Zorah and from Eshtaol 600 men appointed with instruments of war. And they went up and pitched in Kiriath-Jearim in Judah. Wherefore they call that place Mahanan-Dan unto this day, and it is behind Kiriath-Jearim. And they went thence unto Mount Ephraim, and came to the house of Micah. Then answered the 5 men that went to spy out the country of Laish, and said unto their brethren, Know ye not that there is in those houses an ephod, and teraphim, and a graven and molten image? Now therefore consider what ye have to do. And they turned thitherward, and came to the house of the young man, the Levite, even unto the house of Micah, and saluted him peaceably. And the 600 men appointed their weapons of war, which were with the children of Dan, and stood by the entering of the gate. Then the 5 men that went to spy out the land went in thither, and took the graven image, and the ephod, and the teraphim, and the molten image, and the priest stood in the entering of the gate, with the 600 men that were appointed with weapons of war. And the other went into Micah's house, and fet the graven image, and the ephod, and the teraphim, and the molten image. Then said the priest unto them, What do ye? And they answered him, Hold thy peace, lay thine hand upon thy mouth, and come with us to be our father and priest. Whether is it better that thou shouldst be a priest unto the house of one man, or that thou shouldst be a priest unto a tribe and to a family in Israel? And the priest's heart was glad, and he took the ephod and the teraphim and the graven image, and went among the people. And they turned and departed, and put the children and the cattle and the substance before them. When they were far off from the house of Micah, the men that were in the houses near to Micah's house gathered together, and pursued after the children of Dan, and cried unto the children of Dan, who turned their faces, and said unto Micah, What aileth thee that thou makest an outcry? And he said, Ye have taken away my gods, which I made, and the priest, and go your ways, and what have I more? How then say ye to me, What aileth thee? And the children of Dan said unto him, Let not thy voice be heard among us, lest angry fellows run upon thee, and thou lose thy life with the lives of thine household. So the children of Dan went their ways, and when Micah saw that they were too strong for him, he turned and went back unto his house. And they took the things which Micah had made, and the priest which he had, and came to Laish, unto a quiet people, and without mistrust, and smote them with the edge of the sword, and burnt the city with fire. And there was none to help, because Laish was far from Sidon, and they had no business with other men. Also it was in the valley that lieth by Beth-rehob, after they built the city and dwelt therein, and called the name of the city Dan, after the name of Dan their father, which was born unto Israel. Howbeit the name of the city was Laish at the beginning. Then the children of Dan set up the graven image, and Jonathan the son of Gershom, the son of Manasseh, and his sons were the priests in the tribe of the Danites, until the day of the captivity of the land. So they set them up a graven image, which Micah had made, all the while the house of God was in Shiloh.